I'm a huge fan of Sir Walter Scott, the great Scottish novelist, and this is Scott's Heart of Midlothian, the heart, indeed, of historic Edinburgh, Scotland's ancient capital. Over there is St Giles Cathedral, the bells ringing just in time for us. It's the High Kirk of Edinburgh, the very core, the very heart of Edinburgh. We're also here at the core, the heart of the Scottish Supreme Court's complex, and in the middle of that Supreme Court complex today, very busy courts for all sorts of cases, criminal and civil. But at the very middle of that is Parliament Hall, where the ancient pre-Union Scottish Parliament used to meet, used to debate, used to decide matters of importance to the Scottish people. In 1707, of course, Scotland joined union with England. The two parliaments merged into a common parliament that has survived, of course, ever since at Westminster. But in Scotland, there remained a sense of identity, a sense of Scottishness. And so 20 years ago or so, at the foot of the Royal Mile here, a new devolved Scottish Parliament was opened, still firmly part of the Union, but largely governing Scottish domestic matters, education, the health service, etc., and with tax powers as well, powers to vary income tax as well. Now, today, right now, there is an argument from the Scottish National Party and others that the ancient independent Scottish Parliament, a democratic version of it, of course, should be reinstated, that devolution should be enhanced, built up to give Scotland again the full powers of independence. Against that, of course, you have very strong arguments that Scotland should retain the links with the Union. This is the fault line of Scottish politics, the absolute core and heart of Scottish politics. So just as I am at the heart of Midlothian, the heart of Edinburgh, that argument about independence is at the heart of Scottish political debate.
And Brian, to what extent has Brexit influenced the debate?
Brexit is a very significant element of the debate. The people of Scotland voted in favour of retaining membership of the European Union, but of course the people of the UK as a whole voted to leave. So those who advocate independence, the SNP and others, say that Scotland is being taken out of the European Union against the will of her people. They say that increases the argument for independence, for Scotland to make our own choices. Those who take the contrary view say that Scotland, in doing that, would be cutting off her nose to spite her face. She could be perhaps regaining some degree of European linkage, but in the bygoing might be jeopardising the links and the trading links with England as part of the Union.
As you say, Brian, this isn't just a debate about Scotland's future. It's really a debate also about the future of the UK as a whole.
Very much it is a debate about the future of the UK as a whole. If the people of Scotland wish to be independent, they will choose independence. They are entitled to do so. The treaty which created the Union was a treaty between two sovereign nations, and really the argument accepted by UK prime ministers is you cannot bind Scotland into that union forever against her will, if that will is palpably and straightforwardly declared. But this is very much an issue that affects the UK as a whole. Whether the union exists is very much an element that confronts the UK as a whole. This is about Scotland's place as a devolved or as an independent nation, Scotland's place in the UK, and Scotland's place in the world, but with an impact that, of course, that extends well beyond Scotland.
And lastly, Brian, there's a lot of focus at the moment on whether Scotland can actually afford to be independent. But I guess this is as much a debate about identity as it is about economics.
It's a debate about pragmatism. It's a debate about practicality. It is very much a debate about money. In 2014, the issue of money, the currency, trade, etc. These issues were right to the fore in the debate. And then it was a case of doubt and reassurance. The opponents of independence sowed doubts as to whether Scotland could thrive or survive economically. The supporters of independence had to offer an attempted reassurance on that. So yes, it's about debate on money. The opponents of independence say that Scotland would not do as well as Scotland is better, what they call the broad shoulders of the UK. The advocates of independence say that Scotland could be nippier, could be smarter, could be more deft, like they say, small independent European nations. But beyond that, it's also about identity. If you like, identity, I think, is at the core of this debate. The people of Scotland feel Scots, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be independent. It doesn't necessarily guarantee a move to independence. You could feel Scots, but be willing to merge that identity within a UK identity, within a UK state. And that's the argument of those who advance the Union. The contrary argument is that Scotland's independent outlook, independent perspective is best reflected by independence. So independence is about pragmatism, but it's also about identity. It's about the heart of Scotland as well, if you like.